Talk about, folks, the case of Julius Jones in Oklahoma. Folks, he sits 8 days away from being put to death. Now, here's what's interesting. The Pardon and Parole Board, on 2 separate occasions, they have actually said he should be of a commuted sentence, okay? He should not be put to death. They say there are way too many questions. Here's the problem. He's waiting on Governor Kevin Stitt to grant his recommended clemency. Again, his execution is 8 days away. The Supreme Court refused to stop executions in Oklahoma, even though they have botched several in the past. Okay, now, here's what's strange, again, about this particular story here. The governor, we saw this post with our friend Tiffany Lofton. The governor, he's been meeting with the family of the man who was killed and not the family of Julius Jones. This is the same governor who said there should have been a clemency hearing before he would make a decision. Well, guess what? There was a clemency hearing, and they decided that he should not be put to death. This is crazy, Scott, to see what's going on here with this governor. Okay, he says, okay, you know what? I'm not going to make a decision. There should be a clemency hearing. Guess what? They vote again. The same recommendation. Now, I still haven't quite decided, where Julius Jones every single day is moving closer and closer to being put to death.
Yeah, I think the optics are bad on this, but I also think the governor certainly has an obligation or an opportunity prior 8 days and within these 8 days to consult with the family, not to decide based on what the family tells him, but to get a bunch of information and to listen and to render a determination. That determination, it would be unusual for the governor to turn down or reject the clemency board's recommendation. I think it's not so much politics. I think it's him wanting to say that he talked to these various groups before he renders an ultimate decision. Race may play a factor in it, but I would really be surprised if the governor rejected 2 clemency votes to commute his sentence. And so it's taking a little longer than it should be. But in the end, the Supreme Court doesn't have to rule on it because the power lies with the governor and the clemency board. And the clemency board has rendered its decision, or rather recommendation. So expect it to happen.
But here's what's so crazy here, Robert. The governor made this big deal out of, no, I don't want to have to sit here, make a decision. We should have the board have a full clemency hearing. They had a full clemency hearing. They heard from the family. They heard from the prosecutors. They heard from Julius Jones' attorneys, and they voted 3-1 again, recommending his sentence be commuted to life in prison, the possibility of parole. Governor Kevin Stitt, what the hell are you doing?
Well, look, this is part of the reason I think we're going to have federal action on many of these things, because you cannot depend and put so much power into the hands of individual governors. We're going to have some sorts of regulations to determine what exactly states can and cannot do to individuals. We have an 8th Amendment, which apparently is completely pointless to the Constitution. If many of these actions are not cruel and unusual punishment, executing individuals, injecting them with poison, firing squads, as some states have, solitary confinement for decades at a time. And we're not going to actually enforce the 8th Amendment and get rid of it altogether and just go back to having the Star Chamber and medieval types of torture. This is one of those places where I think the social justice movement has to go next. Back a decade ago, I ran for office. I ran for office for one reason, which was because they were about to execute Troy Davis here in the state of Georgia. And I felt that it was our responsibility to get involved in public service to try to stop that from happening. We have to make this the compelling narrative of this next election cycle, and make sure the Democrats understand, while they're in power, that they have the ability to push this issue, to federalize many of these state level abuses, and ensure that going forward we do not have this type of system which is beneath that of many third world countries. How the hell do we talk to Iran or to China or to any of these other nations or North Korea about their justice system when we have these abuses in our system and people are still being treated the same way they were 1,000 years ago? And this has to be a priority, because right now we get so caught up in minutia. How the hell is critical race theory a bigger issue than cruel and unusual punishment in our criminal justice system?
Backdrop Roland Martin unfiltered video in just one moment.
Once upon a time, there lived a princess with really long hair who was waiting for a prince to come save her. But really, who has time for that?
Let's go. Feeling myself. I'm feeling
She ordered herself a ladder with Prime one-day delivery, and she was out of there.
I want some hood girls looking back at it and a good girl in my tax bracket.
Now, her hairdressing empire is killing it. And the prince? Well, who cares? Prime changed everything.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on there.
Hey, Black, I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?